it's lunchtime on the Louie Bellina Show, right? And lunchtime is thanks to Rudy's Barbecue. And Tony Catalina, he was here early. And we're talking food. We're talking about oxtail soul food. He's talking to me about this place he ate in Atlanta. We're comparing notes of eating with Robert Cessna. Because if you ever want to just have the funnest time in your world, hang out with Cease for any length of time. People, you've heard Robert Cessna on Chip Howard Sports Talk. He's with me on the game day show we do before Aggie kickoff. He had his own gig on Saturdays. Before he was like I think he's the first sports talk show ever. It was Saturdays only. And then he came over when the Zone launched. And he's just one of the coolest, funniest, most awesomest Hawaiian shirtest wearing people I've ever known. He's 50 plus years now.
Yeah.
He's been with the Eagles, sports, and the editor and everything. And oh man, you got to,
yeah.
He's just an awesome party.
Anytime I travel to Arkansas football with him and Alex Miller, and we've had a lot of meals, a lot of travel time together. I mean, Cease is one of those guys where give him a mic and let him go. Probably one of the funniest people you ever meet in your entire life.
1.2 million%. And when Cease had his show, I forget what it's called when it was across town, but he came and joined us when we launched the Zone. On Saturday, we call it the front page because, newspaper guy, yeah. Right? And it was 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. I think it had to be the most must-listen show we've ever had on the Zone. And I'll tell you why. Because the music would start at 10:05 because we used to do news at the top of the hour. He'd be running off the elevator. Cease and Time. Yeah. They're not friends. And basically, as the last beat of the music played, he'd get in the studio and the board op would just hit his mic open. And it was 2 hours of a stream of consciousness. There was no planning. There was like almost no prep. And if you tried to do like a flow chart on a grease board, it would go off the board, come back around the other side of the board. It was just fascinating, hypnotizing. You weren't even sure what you were listening to.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Cease.
He's
man.
one of one, man. One of
one. It's just incredible. This is the Louie Bellina Show. If you're wondering what the heck is going on in the universe, it is the Louie Bellina Show presented by CC Electric. The Louie Bellina Show lunchtime, which is lunchtime Monday through Fridays, thanks to Rudy's Barbecue. And you've got 28 minutes left to text. The ticket booth has been open for a while. The ticket booth is thanks to the Dixie Tire Company, and ticket booth means you can win a $50 gift card to Rudy's Barbecue. You text, you have a chance to be registered. Tony Catalina is a Wednesday thing. Tony, you want a text message?
Yeah, let's do it.
You sure it's only nice?
I love it.
It says, Tony, love your work. Sid and Kirk are hard shoes to fill. And there you go.
Confirmed. No, those are two of the best to do it. And I appreciate, Kirk. I get, bounce some questions off, and he's been great to talk to, and Sid's a teammate. So being in a room with those people is certainly been super advantageous for me in my career. So thank you for the compliment. And no, for sure, those are definitely tough shoes to fill.
So is Kurt Bowles considered a traitor now that he went to the Chronicle? Like he's persona non gratis, and like you guys have to snap fingers and throw hands when you see him?
Not anymore, because now we're all teammates again. Hearst.
Wait a minute, what?
We're all under the Hearst umbrella now. Houston Chronicle, Austin Statesman, we're all owned by Hearst now, Beaumont Express, San Antonio. So, no, we're teammates again, so it's all buddy-buddy.
Is that, y'all are family?
Yeah.
Familia? So he's going to be in Austin American Statesman again?
No, he's at the Houston Chronicle.
Right.
But we're all under the same umbrella. We all get
the same umbrella. You could just steal his stuff and not give him credit.
Well, they do, well...
I got Tony dead silent on that one. Okay, I'm going home. I'm done. My job here is done today.
That's great. No, but yeah, so we do work together in some instances. So no, that's funny. Yeah, he's a great teammate again officially.
Oh, I'm sorry. Like I said, I don't want to do anything else. I'm tired. I'm going to go to the movies. Tony Catalina is with me. If you have a text message question, again, not only get registered, but why text me? You have a chance to visit with Tony Catalina. And he is the Texas A&M beat writer for the Austin American Statesman. So questions, comments, or opinions, now's your chance to ask. 979-693-1150. 979-693-1150. You were at Aggie Baseball last night, and I think of all the things to take away, why did they change the home run music?
So I'm glad you brought that up, because I didn't realize until probably the first or second home run how big of a deal it was. So when I got a chance, to talk to Gavin Lyons, and we had a conversation with some of the players and coaches. So you talked
to a pitcher about the home run music?
We actually talked to Blake Binderup, Gavin Lyons, and Coach Early about it. And Coach Hurley immediately was like, I had nothing to do with that. I don't even know.
Don't blame me.
Yeah, he's like, oh, it felt like that. And I know he's, tongue in cheek when I say that, but he was like, hey, this is the player's decision. They made that choice. But when we had talked to Blake Binder up about it, they were talking about how it was just a collective decision. They wanted to make it their thing. And Blake is really excited to talk about it. They love the music. I don't think they realized maybe the connection to Rattle and Bog that the fan base had. So to them, it was just like a fresh, start. But then when you talk to Gavin Lyons about it, and he was like, no, the pitcher started this in the bullpen. We've been playing this before Aiden Sims' starts. We got 6 turtle boxes going in the bullpen. It's something that the team rallied around. And I guess from my understanding in a conversation is that during Caden Sorrell's birthday, a couple of guys got together and they were playing the music and they were like, why don't we make this our song? And I'm paraphrasing it kind of how it went down. But, they got together and said, this is our team. This is a new year. Let's make this our song. And, 3 of them last night, right? So you get to hear it 3 times last night. So I think they're in with the new, and I think they appreciate the fact that it's their thing.
So I don't know about fresh start necessarily, but making it their own. It's a very simple concept.
It's their year, right? Like last year was Rattle Bog, and it's obviously grown in popularity, and people appreciate that. And there's definitely a time and a place to respect the history of that, right? But I think this year with this team starting conference play, how they feel about this group individually, they kind of just wanted their own thing. And I think that's, within their right. And if they keep hitting home runs and they hear it a bunch of times during conference play, I think people will begin to love that.
Fair enough. It's kind of interesting to me. Traditions are an A&M thing.
Sure.
Traditions tend to take 50 to 70 years before they even think about fading out. So a year and a half or 2 years, I guess it was, a Rattling Bog seems a short tradition.
Yeah. And I think
if you win, it never matters.
No.
That's it.
And I think it was more of like a, to his credit, because he was an absolutely great Texas A&M player. I think it was maybe Hayden Schott started it a little bit, right? And it was kind of, and it's nothing against him or the team that was there prior, but this is a new age, a new group, new leadership, new number 12, new whole thing. And so they just wanted a fresh start in the sense of that, hey, this is our team. Maybe we can start and write our own history here. And, the way they got out of conference play, losing one time, they feel really good about what they got going on. And if they continue that, there's going to be a lot of positive feelings towards that song.
That winning, everything you do is right. Losing, everything you do is wrong. Yeah. There's no in between.
Yeah. So it seems like it's a big, it won't matter because it's an away game, but, they dropped the first one in Oklahoma. Maybe, we'll see what happens if people start to change it. But I know it's an away game, but still. If
they get swept by OU, it was the worst timing of an announcement ever.
Yeah. And the thing is, my sense, and again, I can only give you my take on it, is I don't feel like the people who made the decision even understood the ramification of what it meant to the fan base, right? Because when you talk about it, everyone spoke so glowingly about the song and just so excited about the situation.
It had a dance.
They loved it. The whole bench was going crazy. He's rounding third base trying to pump his arm to the beat, and I think they have nothing but positive feelings to this that I don't know if they realized until they checked social media that it was kind of a split decision about how people felt about it. It was kind of going the other way on them.
Okay. Social media. How many people that are happy run to social media to say, man, I'm happy?
Not many.
How many people that are unhappy rush to social media to share to the universe, because the universe really cares about people on social media, to share their feelings?
Millions.
Okay. Do you think on social media there tends to be an imbalance between happy and unhappy?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Without a doubt. So people on social media more are unhappy with the change than happy. Isn't that called normal? Yeah, that's a Tuesday.
Yeah, that's just how social media runs.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
So it's always dangerous to react or make conclusions based upon social media reaction.
Yeah.
Very dangerous, actually.
Yeah, it is, for sure. And I think that they don't care. I mean that respectfully towards the fan base and everyone. This is a decision that they made as a collective group that they feel like they made the right decision. And I don't think they even, like I said, register the blowback or care that there's blowback whatsoever. Because like we said, again, winning cures everything. And if you hear that thing a half a dozen times on a Saturday, nobody's going to care, right? So... And, it'll change. And I think the way people, bought into Rattle and Bog, maybe they buy into this the same way. And, maybe it's a dance party in Olson now.
I bet you some solid money there's still Aggies that think letting women go attend A&M was a mistake.
Man,
So,
man, yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I bet social media then, which was what, a carrier pigeon and smoke signals, we're talking about what a mistake. Destroying everything it meant.
They're just hitting home runs now.
Yeah, just hitting bombs. So I don't know. It's social media reaction split, lean towards negative. No.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
What? Make the madness stop, Tony.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make the madness
Who'd have
stop.
saw that coming?
15-1 heading into Norman, heading into Oklahoma. I kind of talked about this more yesterday, even before the game happened. I can't have an expectation. I don't have a projection yet. I don't think they played enough competition for me to get there yet. They might go to Omaha and win it all. Sure. Yeah. I wish if they had Harkopian, I think that'd be more closer to reality. They might miss the postseason. I don't think that's true at all. But look, I just think everything's still in play. We need good data.
Yeah, and I guess if you're basing it off of year one, it's a box checked in a positive sense, right? Like if they came into this point, 10-6 last year, didn't look good when they went to Houston. That's the opposite of what happened in Arlington, where hey, you met a buzzsaw in UCLA, and that's your one blemish on your non-conference slate here. 15-1 is a lot better than 10-6 last time I checked, and so they're doing it in a. Not only does the score look good against the teams you're supposed to beat up with 6-run rule wins, but they're top 3 in most analytics across the conference right now. So top 3 in batting average, top 3 in pitching, like top 3 in fielding. Like they're just doing what they're supposed to do. So yes, you take it with a grain of salt because these aren't the grueling SEC teams they're about to go see. But for as far as doing what they're supposed to do, they've done absolutely that in a year removed from when they didn't do that.
LSU wishes they were 15-1.
Right. Absolutely, for undeniably, LSU wishes it. There's tons of teams. You look at the SEC, like there's 3 or 4 teams with 3-4 losses. And LSU had to scrap against Creighton last night to win another game. Otherwise, we're talking about a full spiral out here in the early non-conference slate. So I think just like when you look at SEC football, some of the preconceived notions of who you thought were going to be the big dogs in this conference, it's not panning out to be exactly like that. So, hey, they got a puncher's chance. They got a team in Arlington that looks like that. A team in Austin that looks like the real deal. But you cross that bridge when you get there. But I think
they've played nobody.
They played. And you can say that about a lot of teams, right? And I think that's part of the splitting hairs right now. But hey, 15-1, going into conference play, you got a chance to beat a top 10 opponent in the first series. You go ahead and do that, I think some of the narrative will change a little bit as well.
Are you in the same category of me, or are you ready to make some expectation and projections?
No, I think it's fair to wonder what they're going to look like in this first weekend, right? If they come out there and they win the series first off, they find a way to win the series, how it looks like matters, right? I think if they're pitching's well, if they're hitting well, I just want to see how it looks. Come out of there with 2 out of 3.
Oh.
Come out of there with 2 or 3 against Oklahoma.
Let's go.
Right. It changes everything. Come out of there 1-3 and you look scrappy doing it. I think you can feel good. Don't go out there and get your doors blown down in 3 games in Norman. And I think that's the only thing that would, if that happens, then you got conversations, you get text messages, you got people saying, hey, like this doesn't look great. But I think there's about 3 or 4 different ways it could look fine this weekend and only one that would look really bad.
You can never, ever get swept. It just doesn't matter. You could say they're a top 10 team and you're on the road. It does not matter. It's a test of you at all times. You can never be swept. If you're sweepable, you are at a certain tier.
Yeah, and I will say this with a good sense. Their pitching has been great. Like Shane Sadeo, outside of one bad inning on Friday against Oakland, he had 6, 1, 2, 3 innings out of 7 innings pitched. So he's been great. Adam Sims has looked great. Weston Moss had an outing he needed to try to get himself ready for conference play to kind of get him back in rhythm. Now, from my conversations and just talking to people, it looks like Chris Hakopian and Wesley Jordan are doing more, right? Like I saw Hakopian stretching, working out pre-practice. Before the game yesterday, he was in uniform. That's a good sign. I don't know exactly what their timeline is, but the fact that they're doing stuff is a good sign, and probably a sense that probably sooner rather than later, if you're looking at that and we're trying to project out there. So they haven't had their full lineup since game 2, right? Like it's been a mix and match, and they've been platooning completely at second base.
And Harkopian's supposed to actually kind of be your leader.
He's supposed to be
okay. Here's the phrase that no one will argue with. He is your highest rated MLB prospect.
Yeah. I mean, the kid hit a home run while hurting his back in Arlington, like blasted a home run, and then it was like grabbing his back after. So he's just that talented, right? Get a healthy Chris Hakopian, it changes the middle of his order. I mean, now you got Gavin, Caden, Terrence Keel hitting 400 plus. You got Boston Kellner, you got Nico Partita, Bear Harrison seems to be figuring it out. You got people that are just hitting the ball again. This could be a dangerous 1 through 9 lineup if they can just all trot them out there.
Last night it was the bottom of the order that led the way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
I love those moments, man. Because end of 5, it's a 4-1 game.
Right.
Kind of close, kind of interesting. 6 runs, 6th, 10 run, 10 runs, 6th, and bottom of the order leading the way.
And you wonder, look, Blake Binderup is somebody who's like a depth piece right now, designated hitter.
We'll grab a timeout. Tony went nowhere. He's just silent now. You see, he's just kind of looking at the weather on his phone and stuff. When we return, more Tony Catalina of the Austin American-Statesman. Tony joining us here inside the Charles Schwab studio. It's Wednesday on the Zone. It's actually Wednesday everywhere.
Blending Southern culture with college football.
You guys are awesome.
Music, sport commentary, and more. It's Marty and McGee.
Marty and McGee.
Saturday mornings from 6 to 9 on the Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
Okay, I'm sorry about this. Look, Tony and I are on fire right now. Okay, even during the timeouts, we're just hanging here, we're talking, and it's just a good vibe kind of Wednesday here on the Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric, built on faith, family, and community. Tony, you want another text message?
Yeah, let's do it.
Rob Meyer, the dude works like cows and stuff. I know him. Rob Meyer texted and said, thanks for having Tony on the show every week. Awesome stuff. And he even signed Rob on the farm.
I love that. Thank you, Rob. Thanks for checking. I love doing this, right? I love listening. I mean, I love when people reach out, listen, talk about it. So, and you give me an opportunity to talk sports. So what more can I ask for?
Tony, I remember when I first reached out to him, Tony was like, yeah, I'm bored. I was like, okay, this show will make you more bored, but fine, go for it. Tony's like, whatever. So Tony's been hanging out with us, and not quite a full year yet, because it was June of last year when you did your, well, are you going to do the positional each week again next summer?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Absolutely. For sure.
Yeah.
I'm doing more of what I did last year, and I'm trying to add up. Every year I'm trying to level up a little bit
always,
more.
Right?
Yeah. You know,
always do more, always do better.
1% better, right? I'm trying to be 1% better every day. But no, I want to do everything I did last year and then add to it, so nothing less.
So I got a question for you. Mm-hmm. What is the hat you're wearing today?
The same hat I was wearing last night during the game. I'm wearing the Italy World Baseball Classic hat.
Why?
I'm Italian.
Yes, but why?
Well, first off, I'll tell you this is a fact, and everyone knows this, that because Michael Early asked me about it last night. He goes, "Is that your team?" I go, "Yeah, I'm an Italian American. I root for underdogs, right? I don't think anybody, including myself, thought they were going to beat USA last night. But it's a fun story. It's a cool hat. I am Italian, and all those dudes are, Italian Americans, right? Every one of them are Italian Americans. But I wore it to aggravate Richard Zane."
See, everybody can be on board with that. That is a totally relatable, understandable motivation.
Yes.
Okay. You wore the hat not really necessarily to support Team Italy, but you knew it would aggravate Richard Zane. So you wore your Team Italy hat.
It's a cool hat. I am a fan of a lot of those guys, like Jack Caglione's the real deal, and a Red Sox.
Cags,
right? Cags. He did his thing. He hit a home run last night. A Red Sox pitcher struck out Aaron Judge to end the game. So obviously I get some Red Sox tie there. But yeah, I sit next to Richard Zane at the ballpark at these baseball games. We sit side by side, and I knew he was going to wear his USA hat, so I wore the Italy hat, and I guess they gave me a little more luck.
Did you accomplish your mission? Was he thoroughly aggravated?
Yeah, he threw a couple ribs and some jabs at me. I knew that it worked.
Man, if people got ribs, they could throw ribs at me all day long. I'm hungry. I love ribs, so that'd be all right by me.
I'm a hat guy. I come in here with a different hat almost every Wednesday, so wearing this one felt apropos today.
I didn't get into the World Baseball Classic. Over the past years, they've been all over the world, and when they're playing games at 2 a.m., 4 a.m., I don't want to bother from the beginning, to be fair with you. So
yeah,
I made a mistake, and I've learned a lesson for the future. When the World Baseball Classic is in the USA, and they're on human Louie Bellina times where I can catch it, I'm going to, because the storylines have what the World Baseball Classic has meant, the emotions that have come out of them.
Yeah.
I will not miss out next time they're in the States. Look, I'm sorry. When they're midnight or 6 a.m., I can't relate to it. It's not real to me. And that's true with the Olympics, too. Yeah. If that makes me a bad baseball fan, okay. But I've learned a lesson from this World Baseball Classic. I love baseball.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've always loved baseball.
For sure.
And the stories, the guy for Columbia that hits like this walk-off homer or the homer that advanced him and he's almost in tears rounding the bases and all of that, right?
Yeah.
Come on, man. I want a piece of that.
You added missed the best one too, where the guy, I believe I got the right team here, but if I didn't, my apologies. The kid from Czech who pitched 4 2/3 inning. He's an electrician who had to take pay time off to go and to throw out 4 2/3 scoreless innings against Japan. That's
he
a
struck
super
out
team.
Ohtani, right?
Yeah, he struck out Ohtani. Like, that's what it's about to me, right? Like, this is what it's all about. Is
electrician.
Electrician
who had to take vacation days.
Paid time off.
To represent his country.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Started against Team Japan,
Yeah.
who's the number 1 ranked team in the World Baseball Classic, not USA, right?
Yeah. No, and so...
that's my point.
Yeah.
But I don't know that story at midnight or 6 a.m. or 3 a.m.
And let me paint a picture for you, right? Me and Richard Zane in the press box, A&M baseball, they're putting up 10 runs in the 7th inning or the 6th inning to put this thing to a run rule. We got the Italy-USA game on. Done talking to Mike Early, who's giving me, BS about the hat too. It's like, are you really a fan? So he's ribbing me about it. I get back to my car. Yeah, he's giving me some mess about it. I get back to my car at Reed Arena, to get in my car to go home. Italy's winning 3-0. And I'm like, what? I'm like, and so I'm texting Richard. Then they go up like 8-0. I'm like, is this really gonna happen? And then you're sitting there with Judge at the plate, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna lose because this kid's gonna hit he's gonna hit a bomb, and next thing you know, it's gonna change the dynamic. But that's baseball, right? Like, you can have an electrician go and strike out the greatest player in the league, and you can have teams win that shouldn't win, and you're gonna have managers forget if they've punched the ticket or not. Like, it's amazing.
No. That part. No, please take that back. Don't please take the USA manager. Part of how they lost to Italy, thought that USA had already qualified, so he's benching starters and managing the game as if everyone needs to participate, like it's a little league game. And then they lose, and he's talking about, and he didn't know that they hadn't qualified yet. And there's a chance that Team USA does not advance because its manager, what was he doing before he became the Team USA manager, was an MLB analyst.
Yeah.
He was not a manager. Made what could be one of the greatest blunders in the history of baseball.
Yeah. Now this Italy...
That storyline, baby.
It's amazing. Now Italy-Mexico is literally hanging in the balance of USA moving forward with a monster squad, right? Like, that's why I root for the underdog. I think Italy, no chance they're going to beat USA. It's just a fun story. They'll probably get beat up. Yeah, not so fast. And next thing you know, I'm like, oh, this hat is riling people up right now. And it was all in good fun, but it's a good time. I love baseball. I'm excited for MLB to get going.
I love baseball too. I do. I've always said, like, as a sports fan, drawing this up, that football is my fire, my passion.
Yeah.
Baseball is my soul as a sports fan.
Yeah, I love that. I always tell my wife and people that say, when I was a kid, every season I'd be like, oh, baseball's my favorite sport, football's my favorite. Whatever season was in, I was like, that was my favorite sport. And then I ultimately settled into being a football guy, made a career out of it, very happy with that choice. But man, when the weather gets nice and you can start to see the dirt and the chalk lines, I'm like, man, baseball is badass.
I love hockey. I've always loved hockey. I used to watch Houston Aeros minor league, and then we got the Dallas Stars, so I'm a hardcore Stars fan.
Yeah.
And it's the one sport that, you can't talk hockey in Bryan College Station more than, I think it's 128 seconds at that point. People just start hitting their heads on things and passing out, right?
Yeah.
You can drop, 128 seconds. That's about it. And so for me, I don't have to break it down. I don't have to overly, and so I get to watch it as a civilian.
Sure.
Oh, I love hockey.
Yeah.
So I'm a sports talk show, a sports junkie for a reason, because I love sport. Not just the talking or you make a living. No. I love sports, man.
Yeah. You gotta have a passion for it. That's why I feel like every day of my life, you're like, oh, you work so much. It doesn't feel like work when I get to go cover a basketball, football, and baseball game. So
yeah, football's the fire, baseball's the soul, and hockey makes me feel like a kid. Hockey's just and then okay. Are you one of those? You understand what Stanley Cup hockey playoffs?
Oh yeah,
I wasn't
cranks
sure.
up. Yeah, I think NHL hockey playoff hockey might be like the best, theater for sports. Period.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you.
Yeah, no.
I know
I'm
you came
from Boston.
from the East.
I'm from Massachusetts. Yeah, hockey's a big deal up there for sure. The Beanpot, Boston College, Boston University. That's a big deal up there.
Playoff hockey is, I think, the greatest version of sports in existence.
For sure.
I don't know if anything beats playoff hockey. March Madness is special, opening weekend specific, but playoff hockey is as intense as sports can be.
You know what I appreciate about it, too, is that these teams will have enforcers and they'll beat people up all season long. Then the playoffs and Stanley Cup, and then it's too important to go out there and just mess it all up. So intensity's in between the whistles, but they're not really beating each other up. Well, too bad. It just means too much. And then you just understand what it means in between those 20-minute periods there.
Yeah, you can't be off the ice for 2 minutes.
No.
You can't put your team down, man.
Not worth
like
it.
You said, the risk, no. So it becomes that different version. Take the intensity up to 100. And the players don't care what happens to themselves. They're going to drop everything they have and more because they're about to rest for months on end until the next season starts. So they're not going to leave anything.
Nope. And they come out and they find out they've been playing with some gnarly injury for the last 3 months. And
I had 7 bones in my back broken, and I couldn't hold my stick, so I told them to weld it to my glove. so I played an entire month in the playoffs like that. Oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
They just shot me up every night so I could be on my skates.
The show goes on.
Oh, I love hockey. Sorry, it's the absolute best. So okay, we have cracked the riddle of why you have their Team Italy hat.
Yes,
to mess with Richard's.
Part of it, yeah. I bought the hat because I'm a hat guy. I love hats. Love representing. I said I wanted to buy one last time and I didn't buy one. Now it kind of worked twofold here.
We're almost out of time. Go figure. But I'm going to ask you the basic question of the week. Sure. I have a list of them, but. Should Rashawn Agee be on the second or first team? Now, here's how I qualified it. The league office didn't do like 9 on the first team, 9 on the second team.
Yeah.
They did a traditional 5 and 5.
Yeah.
With Rashawn Agee being on the third team, they're saying like he's the 11th best player, where when other people do their list 9-9, they'd be trying to sell us he's 19th or 20th. Your thoughts on Agee third team?
May not be popular, but I think it's just right. I think what he means to this team is invaluable. If you want to
MVP-ness of him.
If there was an MVP type of situation where like he's in the conversation there in spades. There's just so many good basketball players in the SEC, and he is exactly what A&M needed. But do I think he's one of the 5 best players in the conference? Probably not. Is he one of the 10 best players in the conference? Maybe, right? Maybe, so you can have that conversation at the All-SEC. But you can't deny his ability to have a double-double every night, his ability to be the emotional leader. He is just – I think it's just right, but I want that to say with all the respect in my heart.
Okay. I thought about it, my answer, and, I wish I could just say yes or no, simple. If they were doing the league office the way like an Athlon – I don't mean to shot that. Athlon people are some of my best friends. Mm-hmm. Where there'd be 8 on the first and like 9 on the second, he'd be second team.
Sure.
Easy.
Yeah.
But at 5 and 5 –
yeah.
Okay, there's 2 people on the second team list that I think would be probably equal to. I can argue he should be on the second team.
Sure.
And that's where it gets interesting. If you can argue, that doesn't mean he has to. If he would have, I would understand.
Yeah.
With the way it is, if any MVP value counted for voters, Rashawn Agee would be first team.
That's fair.
If any MVP value was accounted for, he'd have to be first team.
Yeah.
A team picked 13th, finishing 4th. MVP value of Rashawn Agee's first team.
Sure.
But they don't take
No, it's not
MVP
about that.
value.
Yeah.
Awesome. Go be awesome, brother. Look,
too.
You'll be busy. Your life is busy. You'll be at the Selection Sunday show for Aggie Basketball. Next week we're talking about brackets that'll be tipping off the next night, right?
Can't wait.
Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Tony Catalina of the Austin American-Statesman hangs out with us inside the Charles Schwab studio every Wednesday. Yeah, it's just still the Zone, right?
This is Texas A&M's only all-sports station, The Zone. 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
The Louie Bellina Show inside the Charles Schwab studio. Join now Bubba Bush, BVMMA and Fitness. Bubba Bush fighting Texas Aggie. He was a champion. He fought in Legacy, which was at the time was right behind the UFC, and then he went on to fight in the UFC. Nowadays, he runs, coaches at, and trains others at BVMMA and Fitness. Bubba Bush joins us on the D4 Land Services Hotline. Bubba, how's your world, dude? What are you up to?
What's up, Louie? I'm enjoying spring break. Not that I get one, but that, it's just nice and quiet and calm and little smaller classes, a little more personal one-on-one attention. So.
Okay, you just said you're not going to get one. I have to assume over at BVMMA and Fitness that you have a little bit of that exodus of, at least all the college students, but then again, you have the parents who have high school kids. And this morning, I had to drive across town, which, is kind of funny. It's not that far a drive, but still. And going down Texas the whole way, and I kind of went, oh, this is so spring break. And that was right before I got to work here this morning. I was laughing the whole way, man.
That is amazing. It's like December. So I would say it's a great time for the adults in town to come out and try some jiu-jitsu one-on-one. Again, a lot of smaller classes. But, yeah, I was driving through, no traffic. I know there's not always a ton, but I can get to the gym in half the time at 5 p.m., and I also went to Sweet Eugene's this morning, and it was surreal, just weird.
Wow, treated yourself and was able to make the turns.
Might have been 3 people in there. It's like, okay, I get it.
Spring break? It really is spring break. Bubba,
Yep.
What is the plan for BVMMA and Fitness over the second half of the spring as we march towards summer? What is the plan over at BVMMA and Fitness?
So as the summer approaches, we will have another Jiu-Jitsu 101 coming up in June. So we'll do that after the end of the semester. But for the rest of the semester, we're working internally. We've got a lot of competitions. So we have our in-house tournament coming up end of this month or end of April. We have a tournament this weekend in San Marcos, which is Jiu-Jitsu World League. And we have about 25 competitors in that. So big showing for us. Big tournament. A lot of families going out, taking the kids and the adults, and so it's a good time. Then we have a watch party for Idris's fight, and that's in a couple weeks as well. We got a professional fighter up in Dallas, so a lot of competition events. We're doing 2 professional jiu-jitsu matches in April, 4th and the 25th, so we'll be in Houston for those. There's just a lot to do for the members, a lot of activities, and a lot of things to go, either competing yourself or watching, kind of participate in watching other people. So that's keeping us active. But as far as community events, we have not scheduled our next women's self-defense seminar, and we're just looking towards 101 for June.
Why don't we do a healthy reminder for people? So Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, that is the heart, the soul, the foundation, the backbone of what you do at BVMMA and Fitness. What else do you have to offer?
Absolutely. So we do a ton, but when you talk about fighting or self-defense, and the only difference is self-defense is a fight you do not want to be in. So you're trying to get out of that situation. You don't always have that option. Someone's smaller than you, weaker than you, slower than you, in that you can't just run away from that fight. Now you're in a fight, not a self-defense situation, right? It's just a fight you didn't start, fight you don't want to be in. When you're talking about that, 80% of them end up on the ground at some point. You're trying to get away. They're trying to hold you. Now you're grappling. So rather than starting with kickboxing, karate, boxing, we start with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It is the basis for everything we're doing. Wrestling, controlling, grappling, that determines where the fight happens. If you can't hold me down, we're fighting on our feet. If I can hold you down, we're fighting on the ground. So we work on wrestling to escape. We work on Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. When you're stuck on the bottom, how do we do submissions, chokeholds, use leverage to get out of these positions and places, finish fights or escape them. And then we go to kickboxing, boxing, karate. Now we're doing how do I fight on our feet? And we do that for both fun and fitness, and we also do it for fighting.
You'll notice something. Everything Bubba said is about real world. It's about practical. It's about, system tying in and leading into system so that you're not just there kind of like, in a mirror, just practicing in a bubble. You're actually learning skills. You're learning abilities. You're learning things that you can take out of the gym and into the world around you. And the world around you is a world that does have actual threats and dangers to it. And then you can have the ability to take care of yourself and the ones you love. And Bubba, you and I've talked a long time, and that's just kind of the way you see things, that you should have the ability to take care of yourself and, live in the world around you.
I think so. I think everything should mean something. So we're not the place. If you just want to pick up a belt in a year, we're not the place. But we have mostly hobbyists doing it for fun. Again, fun fitness, to learn something, to get that sense of self-confidence. And so what ends up happening, most of us don't end up in fights. Praise God. Okay. You want to be capable, though. You want to know that you could handle it if it happened. And so then you carry that confidence. Your children carry that confidence into school, into work, into life. You're calmer. All the college students are fighting less in Northgate. I got a lot of people in. I see red. I have all this aggression, and it's like after a couple months of jiu-jitsu, I'm not I'm not in that mindset anymore. It's like I let this pass. Your stories about this happened, and it rolled right off of me because I wasn't locked into that kind of the anger of my youth. So really good for that. Most of the actual benefits and functions that are coming out of it are not professional fights. Most people are in here just, I feel more confident, I feel safer, I feel like I have a sense of self, and I carry that confidence into everything I'm doing. I can focus more on my studies, and that's less distracted, get the energy out, sleep better. Those are the benefits that we mostly see. So.
Well, okay, you're talking about some things at other levels, like people that went to or discovered, became obsessed, got into the martial arts world. They discovered self-confidence and they discovered discipline. And there are people that, nothing else appealed to. There's just general life benefits for people, because not everyone gets into martial arts. They try it and I don't know, they don't like kicks or punches coming out. But for the people it connects to, there's just real world benefits to it.
I mean, there definitely are. It's not, that's what I'm saying, is that you want to do something that actually matters. I didn't memorize a dance, and then when the time comes, I feel confident, but I can't do anything about it. So we definitely base this all, we teach the things that we've tried in fights, that we've gone out and used in martial arts fights and cage fighting and practiced. So we like that to be real world based. And when we teach, and mostly, I don't want to teach super sportified Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, where we're going to get a fight and I'm going to lay on my back and put my feet up and say, let me hold your sleeves real quick. It's not just about going to winning these tournaments. Like, we want things that are practical and useful and that we've demonstrated before. So it's nice to walk away with something you can keep forever.
What are the hours over at BVMMA and Fitness?
6 a.m. till about 8:30 p.m. every night. But we have various classes. We do 6 a.m. kickboxing and jiu-jitsu. We have noon jiu-jitsu every day. And then we have 6:30 p.m. for adults, jiu-jitsu, 5:30 kickboxing. Kids classes, kickboxing and jiu-jitsu, 4:45, 5:30. So we're just running all afternoon. We've got the MMA, the wrestling, different types of advanced kickboxing classes going on at 7:30. But there's not a time of the day you can't find a private lesson, or semi-private, or a class going on. Just BVMMA for the schedule. Whole schedule's on there. There's about 65 hours a week, I think, that we're scheduled to be in here. And then we're doing private lessons the rest of the time. So we got whatever we need.
You say every day. You mean Monday through Sunday? Like, seriously?
I'm sorry. I take Sundays off.
Don't scare me, man. Come on. Even God rested Sundays, on the seventh day.
Still Sabbathing on Sundays. But we do Monday through Friday, and then Saturday morning we have everything as well. So we run hills together if you want. Do some cardio, but then we got kickboxing and jiu-jitsu, open mats, everything else going on Saturday mornings.
Man. That again, 7 days. I'm like, Bubba, even you need to rest. Come on now. So Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to about 8:30 at night, they're running. There's a class. There's something going on.
Yep. Morning, noon, or night. We got them.
BVMMA.com. You need a phone number, BVMMA.com. You need an email address, BVMMA.com. Where are you located? What is the class schedules? What are the classes? Hey, wait, what's going on? BVMMA.com. Just go get all the information for yourself and find out, well, what appeals, what would work for you. BVMMA.com. And Bubba, all these, people are talking about the fighting and the competition. And what percent of people that come to you are sitting there going like, man, I fighting's what I want to do with my life. Like, this is just people that want to learn, and then as they want to learn, they want to test. I mean, that's a lot of people sometimes are like, oh, I'm not looking to compete. But once you get into it, you do want to know what you can do.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to push that too hard. But there's two types of people that come and compete, right? Usually it's college kids, young people like, this is just something that looks cool and fun, and let me get there. And then there's people older in adult life like, I want to do one fight. I just want to see if I can do it. And I've had that up to 41, I think, was probably the oldest that came in and started just like, hey, I just want to get one bucket list fight out. But they're there. And a few professional fighters, right? They usually come up and stick around from the first group of people, the college kids, and then they become fighters and they want to stick around and do it professionally. So those exist, but that's 5%, maybe, of the people in here. It is mostly moms and dads doing jiu-jitsu, kids doing jiu-jitsu, and college kids saying, looks fun. I want to break from studying. I want to focus, I want to have something where I have some community and some people to hang out with. It is a very addicting thing. It's very cool to feel like how powerful you are, how capable you are of moving your own body around and someone else's. Very interesting, very capable. And that's one of the best moments. Oftentimes, you ask me, what do you enjoy most about it? And I've heard this from myself and a bunch of my coaches. And it's like, it's the moment when it clicks. It's the moment, and it can be as small. It's like people come in and do the first forward roll they've done since they were a kid, or handstand or cartwheel or something. They're like, I didn't even know I could do that. I've never done it before. When you do the same thing with your punches and kicks, or when you do the same thing with your jiu-jitsu, and I didn't think I could move myself that way or someone else that way, and you see them do it, it just clicks. That's just a beautiful moment and really makes it all worth it and wonderful. So that's the biggest thing. But yeah, most people, they're in here hanging out, having fun, learning jiu-jitsu. It's called hobbyists in the game. But if you do that long enough, that's how I started, actually. If you do it long enough, you go, man, this is cool. I can do all this stuff I didn't know I could do. And now I want to see how it works in a real life situation. And so we go through competitions. And we usually start at the in-house competition, April 18th. Everybody's welcome to walk through if you just want to see an in-house competition going on. But this is everyone who's been training for a month to 3 months to 6 months. We get all these divisions based on how long you've been training, size and skill, and say, here, try it. Try it live against someone who's not letting you do this to them, right? They're working against it, and see how it really works. Because just I think it was, what did I quote? I think I told you Secondhand Lions last time I was talking, and I didn't mean to say, which is a great movie, but I meant Ghost in the Darkness. You seen that one? Ghost in the Darkness, guy gets handed a gun and goes out, against these lions, and it's not his gun. He goes to defend himself, and it doesn't work because he's never used it before. This just really solidifies the lesson. You don't go into combat with untested gear. You always want to know what you have works. And so it's great if you go to a self-defense seminar. It's great if you carry this handgun. It's great. But if you've never done the things that you think are going to work, if you just did some, I don't want to throw any martial arts out there, but if you did a martial art for, a year, and great. If you broke boards, it's great. But it's have you ever tried it? And so jiu-jitsu, getting away from someone who's trying to hold you down live, it's so useful. And it just adds that layer of I actually know I can do this against someone who doesn't want to let me. They're not my friend who came with me, who's participating. That makes all the difference. So even in our women's self-defense seminars, we introduce people to concepts at work. We introduce them to the concept of training jiu-jitsu. But it is a life set. It is a skill. It takes time to develop skills and for them to be useful. And so you want that true confidence, that true sense of self. I can protect my family. I can protect myself. I can handle myself. I don't have to bow up and buff up and, spit back when people are talking trash to me. It comes from actually doing it and actually living it. So we end up having a huge amount of our just hobbyist, casual, I just want to do this for fun people that will at least do an in-house tournament. They'll at least touch on that and say, hey, this is going to show me where I can develop my game, where I can develop my jiu-jitsu, where my gaps are, what's working. And I believe in that strongly. I encourage everyone to do it. And I just find it just beautiful and wonderful that people are willing to step out there and put themselves in those tough situations, because that's where all the growth happens. Not in the comfort zone, but in those slightly tough situations. So
check Bubba out.
In-house.
Yep. Check Bubba out. Check out BVMMA and Fitness. Go get more info at BVMMA.com. BVMMA.com. Bubba, go be awesome, brother. It's always great to see how you're doing, man. I'm a big fan.
Love you, Louie. Thanks.
Be awesome, man. Bubba Bush joins me on the D4 Land Services hotline. Check in with him a couple of times a month. Fighting Texas Aggie Bubba Bush, again, who serves us, serves our community. D4 Land Services. If you ever need your land cleared, land excavated, D4landservices.com. You need your land fixed up, forestry, mulching, pond construction. You need a metal building, custom metal building from the ground up. Check out D4landservices.com. I'll be right back, and we got to say bye.
You can get the podcasts of Texans Live, The Louie Bellina Show, or Chip Howard at Zone1150.com, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
It is the Louie Bellina Show presented by CC Electric, built on faith, family, and community. CC Electric, we're done. Man, I hope you had fun. Got to check in with Chip Howard. We had a listen in, Michael Early and Rashawn Agee. got to another hangout. It's kind of what I do. It's my specialty. Hang out with Tony Catalina of Boston American Statesman inside the Charles Schwab studio. And we just got done checking in with Bubba Bush of BVMMA and Fitness. He was on the D4 Land Services hotline. And don't forget, forestry, mulching, pond construction, metal buildings, land, just all kinds of help with your land. Go to d4landservices.com. Tomorrow, listen in, Trisha Ford. Tomorrow, Cedric Golden of Boston American Statesman. Tomorrow, Rusty Burson, Aggie historian. That is tomorrow on the Louie Bellina Show here on The Zone. I got to go. Peace, everybody. Have an amazing Thursday.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
They want Mike McCarthy to figure out what Mike Tomlin could not post Ben Roethlisberger, which is who's going to be the quarterback that can consistently elevate the talent base and put our team in position to contend for titles year in, year out. Mike McCarthy is going to find the answer to that question.
Unsportsmanlike.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle. Let's go. Weekday mornings 5 to 8 on The Zone, 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.